Welcome to the Apex Insiders show. We got the F1 betting show. I got Dolcetto here with me. I got my boy Tegrity bets with free money. Well, we're going to say Thursday, but we'll also say Friday too. We'll say free money Thursday and Friday. So yeah, we got the crew here. I'm excited. We had a pretty good race weekend. We did talk about that, Dolcetto and I, in the recap show. So if you want to listen in, go back and listen into the recap show. But basically, wild race. Wild race. I mean, you had everything. Actually, I got to say, it was actually kind of fun there, especially towards the end when everything went chaotic. No one knew what to do. Ferrari fail. What's new? World is restored, right? We're back. So and Max ended up second. So that was a lot of fun. But now we are into China. We do got a sprint weekend, so everything is going to be a little bit different. Number one, you're going to have Parc Fermé where you can actually just before after FP1, you're going to go into Parc Fermé. And then it will unlock, and then you'll have basically a new race going on for the quali and the race for Saturday and Sunday. So yeah, welcome, boys. What's going on?
Welcome.
Actually,
Back.
Yeah.
Hey, excited to be here. China is a good race. I think that there's going to be a lot of overreaction from race one.
Yeah.
And I mean, weather permitting, like we'll see. But I think it's going to be a lot of books are going to overreact on a lot of these drivers based on one race, and bettors will too as well. So I'm one of those guys you will see later on in the show on one of my bets. But I think it's going to be a good race. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, man.
And also, I'm excited that it's early in the year. Get these late races out of the way so we could get back to normal schedule. Because hate those 3 a.m. races.
This does suck for us for sure.
North America, yeah.
I mean, unless you're on the Pacific, I mean, you get kind of a nice. What is it like?
12.
9 p.m. and then at 12. Yeah, that's actually not bad. But
yeah, but rest of the year they got 4 a.m. races,
that's
5 a.m. races.
Yeah, that's it.
They're done.
Cool, 6, 7 a.m.
I will admit, I do enjoy the summer calendar where it's like, hey, we get it out of the way in the morning, and you get the whole day to do whatever you want. I love that. I do love
NASCAR, whatever you want to bet on.
IndyCar.
You could just chase the whole day. It's great.
Just you know what? And if we don't have any races, then you can actually go outside and touch some grass. Just a
or
feel.
bet baseball in America. Like
or we could just
we're not even doing that.
We're not even doing that. We're going to be betting table tennis, bro. Russian table tennis.
I'd rather do that baseball.
Oh man,
that's great. All right, I digress. No, so China, it is going to be very, very interesting. So, number one, it's going to be hard to get traction at this track. It's a nice track. We obviously, Tegrity and I know that track very well because of F1 2024.
I feel like I've actually raced there before.
Yeah, I know.
Many times
so many
track. Yeah.
We know. We feel like we know what to expect for these drivers.
I heard that they changed the the cement, like the track layout. It's all like brand new road. Like the actual layout.
That was last year, but it's
was
still.
it? I thought that they redid a part of the track.
Oh, maybe
something about it's like on a swamp or something like that. So they had to like repaint.
Yeah, they had to redo it, but yeah, okay.
That should be good to go this year.
But in general, it doesn't matter. Like this track is going to be a lot. There's a lot of slow speed cornering, and then the long and twisty turn in the turn one. I don't know how many.
The very first one where you.
I don't know even. I don't even know how many turns they call it. But yeah, it's a lot of stress on your front left tire, and then just getting your rears just sticking. It gets pretty tricky. So with that being said, tires are always going to be critical, and I think in this race, it will make a difference, especially when it comes to the rookies. That's just something the rookies might have a pretty good first 5-10 laps, and then tires are going to be dead. But I think with the softs, you're not going to see that in the race as much. if at all. I'm sorry, you're not going to see that at all. Maybe if a safety car comes out, but we're expecting like mediums and hards for the race. And then for the sprint, should be mediums. I think last year Russell did softs, and he did pretty fine on that. But that's a lot to ask for if you're not a tire whisperer. So I expect everyone on the grid to be on mediums. With that being said, there are 11 tire allocations happening in this weekend because it's sprint weekend. So FP1 is going to be very, very tricky when it comes to testing. Lots of volatility. Track evolution is going to be super high, especially going into sprint qualifying. You only have one practice session. So yeah, that's kind of what's playing in our hand, and how do we cap this, because there's a lot of different variables in this race. So it's not going to be as easy, let's just say. But yeah, let's kick it off. Speaking of Friday, well, in our case, Thursday night, free money Thursday. What do we have?
Well, yes, it is free money Thursday, and so we actually do not count last week's.
That's right.
It was Friday, and well, it wasn't. So in my mind, doesn't count. It's just washed. So we're starting fresh on a free money Thursday.
That's right.
And if you remember last year, we actually started similar situation, crash and burn, and then straight to the top. So that, listen, we're back.
Only up from here. Yeah, only up from here.
We're on track. Okay. Yeah. So this is definitely a tricky one. Like, this is not something you should put any serious money on after that disaster of just craziness in Australia. We're here with a sprint weekend immediately. So it's just going to be random. So for everyone, I came in with that same thought process and try to think of a driver that would probably maybe get a little more room to push a little more than who needs the experience and just needs the truck time. And landed on Kimi plus 400 top 3. I think he's the best of the rookies. I think if someone were going to get that extra hot lap, it would probably be a younger rookie, and I think I trust him in the Merc more than any of the rookies, or say a Stroll or someone. So yeah, I think that's a good long shot of plus 400. I'm going to put a little sprinkle on that. Then we're going to go to the sprint qualifying, which was going to proceed right after FP1 this time. And I'm going to go Max Verstappen top 3. He's at minus 120. I think Max, he probably has to realize that the McLaren is pretty dominant this year. And so you got to get the points when you can. And a sprint race is an easy way to get some good points. So I expect him to push, to get up there in the top row. And top 3 at minus 120. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, it's free money, right? It's free money Thursday.
Yeah.
And then we get into Friday, which would be sprint qualifying. Free money Friday.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, Dolcetto, do you have a free practice play or not?
No, I don't. But like we talked before this, with it being only one free practice, I feel like it's going to be, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of the teams are not going to just take it easy. I feel like everybody's going to try to set up the car as much as they can. I think it's going to be lots of laps ran out there, because even though it's a long track, it's like a minute 40, I think it is, a lap.
Like that. Yeah.
So I think lots of teams are going to try to push hard. So I don't expect many surprises. But again, I did see you guys posting in Discord Gasly top 3s and all these. So I did the jump on it when it was 40-1 when you guys posted it. I think it's already down to like 21.
I mean, it was in that. Yeah, that was probably the one play where I was like, "Are you kidding me? You're putting him at 40-1?" And I'll go into that a little bit, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, but that was it. I really don't have a play on that. But I feel like on the sprint race, I do like Lando to win it if he gets in the front line. I mean, we see this. He's in the fastest car on the grid, and supposed to be dry conditions. So that's the only thing. But I have more bets on the race than the qualifying or practice.
Yeah, and that's just in line with what all of us have been saying. McLaren is right now just clearly ahead. I wouldn't read too deep into this whole thing with the wing extra DRS. Like it may impact their speed just a little bit, but the speed wasn't what is their benefit, especially in the race. The race, they are miles ahead when it comes to tire deg. They just are, and they have a car that is just super balanced. doesn't give him any interruption. I mean, right now they're top. They're the top team, and it's pretty clear.
I mean, you saw it last week. There were times when I was paying attention after they fixed the clock, because remember the time was off, and after they fixed it, you've seen like the Mercedes could not even catch up to them in the top two. It was
he
just
was
like
in his own race,
10, 12 seconds ahead in this weather,
Yeah.
And I cannot even imagine what it's going to be on a dry track. It's going to be a fun race. I hope that Piastri has a good race, so we could see a little battle, maybe like a little Nico Rosberg, Lewis Hamilton type of battle with teammates, but we'll see.
No, I mean there is some value to taking Piastri, and something I was kind of chit chatting with in the Discord, which was when it comes to the sprint, like he was very close to being up there with Lando, and I know Tegrity has lots of comments about our boy, but I mean I'm gonna block it for a second and just be as objective as possible with this. If he sticks it, he could stick it in P1, and then he just might just run away with it in the sprint race. And Lando's not going to probably challenge too much just to get an extra point, right? He will challenge in the race, but he won't challenge as hard, I think, in that situation, especially if he's P2. So I think there's still a little value on Piastri if you're actually wanting to take something on a sprint race winner. But for the race, man, last race I was almost there. Something was happening. I'm kind of going back to that. There was something happening with the odds because Lando went from plus 135 to plus 150 to plus 180, all within a span of like 45 minutes. It was this close to just, let's double down on Lando for the race. Should have done it. Said, okay, it's all right. Didn't need to be greedy. So that's why I kind of like your Lando one. And I'm almost there with Lando, but I kind of want to just see some cars on track first, because there was something about Ferrari where they messed up after Friday, the Friday session. And then all of a sudden, they lost his pace, but everything that I've seen and read sounded like, hey, they're going to be fine. They still have some growing pains, but they may come back. They might challenge, but I don't think in a full race, in a full stint, that they can keep up with McLaren. McLaren is just too good with their tires, unless they're safeties. So,
well, that was the other point that I had. It's more for like a race bet, but we can see that they have the pace, and we know that Max is a great driver in the rain, in wet conditions. Yeah. But it's supposed to be dry weekend, and I was looking at the odds for the winning margin. If we really expect the McLaren to be really that far ahead of everybody else, the odds for like under 6 seconds is like 375, which is like plus 275. Do we see Lando or Oscar being ahead of each other by 6 seconds in a race? Could be, but then the odds between 6 and 12 is also 350, which is 250. So I can't see it being over 12 seconds, which are the odds currently at plus 110, I think it is. So I think either or between 6 to 12 seconds or under 6 seconds is a good arbitrage bet. So, because if we really expect them to be out there, we know they're going to be really close.
The only thing that worries me is
one of them crashing.
No, Piastri, has he really fully overcome his tire situation, which he had early on? And this goes back to what I was talking about with the rookies. This is where they might struggle, is they might just be burning through their tires in the first 5 laps. Do we see the same thing? And then he starts peeling back a little bit. I don't know. Because, Lando will be in clean air. He won't have to deal with anything. But I mean, it makes sense 100%. Like, it makes sense in what you're in that logic that both cars should be closer to each other. I struggle with that market specifically, that race up to 6 seconds and then beyond. It gets tricky for me.
In betweens, I hate the between. Just give me over under. That's all I
want. That's all I want. Like, and even at 5 seconds, I'm still kind of iffy on it. So I'm still kind of getting a feel when it gets to the margin. I'm still getting a feel of let's see a few races before I can kind of really grasp what's going on. But going back to Free Money Friday, yes, we did get that Gasly top 3, 40-1. Obviously, these are long shots for a reason, but this is what to expect. It's a high track Evo. People, the teams are going to be doing like totally different types of things within their practice and their testing. And when I would say pay attention to the medium tire runs, because that will be a good read into what to expect for sprint quality, because sprint quality is going to be medium, and then you can go soft. That's what was the killer last year for Williams, as an example. They topped the sheets at the end on softs, but they were at the bottom the entire time with their medium. So pay attention to that when you're watching FP. If you see a team that's just bottom 5, bottom 10, and then all of a sudden they top the sheet, it might be a good fade spot, expecting that they topped it with like soft tires, right? I still expect everyone to do softs, but one of the other odds I've been eyeing was on MGM. I feel like well, two things. But on MGM, Gabriel Bortoleto to Duhan. I don't know why Duhan's getting this much respect. I know that Alpine is supposed to be a better car than Stake or Sauber, or whatever you want to call it. Kick. I think Gabriel at those odds at plus 150 is worth a nibble, because he actually did a pretty good job. The car should still do fine here. I just don't think Duhan deserves a minus 210 over Gabriel in any situation right now. He probably will hit it, but not at minus 210. So plus 150 presents some value there. But the one I'm almost there with, I have a little hesitation, is Carlos Sainz over Albon in free practice 1. It's right now minus 115 on Bet Online and Bovada, and I believe Bet 365 as well. You got to take Sainz at this situation. I think, there was, again, going back to your comment, Dolcetto, overreaction. Albon just got 5th. Sainz DNF'd. I know that they're pretty much kind of on par in terms of the pace that we saw, but Sainz was doing a little bit better in some of the sessions. I don't know. I think Sainz gets back into the car and just rips it this on a Friday practice. And then on top of that, the odds are reflecting it too. So MGM has minus 150 Sainz over Albon. And then in every session, teammate head to head, Sainz is favored over Albon. So if you take him in free practice, those odds for the other sessions are going to just only increase they're going to just go shorter. So that's where I'm at with the free practice plays. Also, a few other long shots you could still grab if you want to just have some fun. This is like roulette for free practice 1. You could get Hulkenberg still at 50-1 in some places, and Stroll, if you really are feeling just like, hey, I want to throw some money on black or red, go for it. So he's at, I think, 50-1 as well in some spots. Again, it's just top 3. That is, that's just again, we might see some late glory runs, and you never know. One of these guys can probably hit that top 3. So, yeah. All right. What about? I know we talked a lot about classified markets in the past. I think someone posted it. Doesn't look too juicy. Renegade isn't here for this. I feel like we have to plug this in. Last classified finisher. Who are you guys thinking for a last classy?
Ocon.
Ocon.
I don't know. The Haas looks terrible. I mean, I feel like it's
all right.
My car. I feel like it's faster than
4-1. 4-1.
What is the odds on the last classified? I haven't looked at it.
So Behrman is actually the favorite at 2-1. Yeah. Ocon is 4-1, and then Duhan, Gabriel 450. Hajar is 850. Which, speaking of, I know there's some guys that are high on him. There's something about his line where it makes me want to fade him, which I have actually done a few on Grid Rival. And again, it goes back to inexperience at a track like this, where he might kill his tires pretty fast. And I'm with you, Dolcetto, man. I'm kind of in a contrarian mood for this weekend. Little overreaction to some things. So outside of
Yeah, I mean,
Panarin, of
I just
course.
don't know. I mean, it's just so much unknown because like literally the weather kind of did not give us a indication of what these cars are really like. You know, we cannot
Yeah.
tell. I mean, yes, we could see, but
Mm.
you know, Kick, Zauber, Alpha, whatever you want to call them, they were supposed to be the worst, but like we saw the King, you know, King Nico was, you know, what was finished 6th or 7th,
Yeah.
and it just chaos happens, and you just don't know.
Yeah.
But I really don't know what to expect from Hajar, and we saw the Racing Bulls actually perform pretty well this weekend. So this past weekend, so I don't know. I just don't know about. I would not bet it
Yeah.
personally. So I know there are some people out there who like to have a lot of action, but just I would not touch it.
I mean, yeah, there's some guys that are going like Lawson over, and I'm not backing Lawson
Lawson
anytime.
has never raced in China.
I'm
And
not backing that guy
I don't care
anytime
if he
soon.
has.
Yeah.
The
no.
guy stinks.
Yeah.
I feel like he was better with Racing Bulls last year. I feel like I don't know.
I think he only had. I think a Renegade always talks about it. Was it Abu Dhabi he raced, and he was terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's I don't know.
But yeah, last classified. I like the Ocon. I got it's 5-1 at Bovado.
Oh, 5-1. There you go.
You
If
know,
I'm gonna throw a dart on one this weekend, I would probably.
I don't know.
Ugh.
I don't see it on the MGM. Let me go on DraftKings.
Yeah, go to DraftKings. They have some there.
There you go. Last classified driver. Ocon is it's 5-1. Yeah,
I know people are on Yuki this weekend.
I'm
I
on
know-
Yuki.
No,
I don't. I'm.
it's just
I know.
typical Yuki, man. Like he has these spots, and then you're like, oh, maybe he's gonna do something. Like he's gonna take over Checo's seat, and then like the next 3 races, you're like,
What do we? I mean, yeah. Like, what is it? What is
No,
it?
he had a great race. He got screwed by the pit stop, but his team
Oh, they
just
left him
let
out,
him
right?
stay out there. Like
Yeah.
it's like
Sure.
He
And,
was-
and Ferrari
he-
did the same.
You know, he was in 4th spot.
Yeah,
Yuki
well.
of all the teams, you know, he had
I understand. He had a fine
I'm
race.
I'm high on him to be in the top 10. That's actually one of my
I
picks.
can't.
for the race.
I can't get myself to be behind that. Just too soon for me on that one. Only because yeah, he had a pretty good. Like they look good this past weekend, but I'm still concerned.
Well,
Like one last year, he didn't do jack. He didn't do anything.
well, let
last
me
year.
ask you this then, just for you to see. Okay, you tell
Yeah.
me the drivers not in the top 4 teams, right? That can go above Yuki to replace him in the top 10 this weekend. Gasly, maybe.
I still believe in Gasly for this weekend. I mean that's still obvious. All of these are going to be question marks. Let's just put it out there.
Yeah.
But if I'm backing anyone, I still believe Gasly has a pretty good shot. And even Grid Rivals and all these pick'ems agree with that. They think that they can have the line at 10.5. And I think he can get into that 10 spot. And I'm still trying to figure out Aston Martin. I saw some report earlier mixed about them, but there has been something that they're saying like, hey, we found some correlation, and it's been like a year plus, it feels like. That's where it gets tricky in that mid spot is you have Aston Martin, and then Williams too, and then you have Alpine all battling into that like 7 through 14 spot, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be super competitive. It's who's going to be ready and prepared as a team. And you go back to you're talking about strategy. Well, that's another thing. That team never gets it right. They're Ferrari Junior when it comes to strategy. They never get it right. And they were always a problem with me last year because I'm like, oh, they look great. We're going to back them this weekend. And then they do some fuckery throughout the race, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what happened? Ricardo and Yuki are like all of a sudden, P16 and P14 when they were up in like 7 and 10. I just can't get behind teams like that, and even in practice, like I can never. Last weekend they looked great, and then I don't know what to expect this weekend. But just going based off last year, Yuki was dog shit.
Oh, he was like, I don't even think he finished the race, right? He had a crash.
Yeah, he had a
Yeah.
crash, and then, but even
Yeah.
then, in every session, he was just struggling. He was struggling to get out of P15. Maybe he gets it this year, and again, going back to maybe he just didn't have the experience at China. But I totally expect that. Again, that's the playbook. These younger drivers are going to struggle here. So if you're thinking about Lawson, I'd caution a little bit. I'd caution to say, well, for many clear reasons, but especially in just this specific area where how much are you going to really trust him throughout a race, or how much are you going to trust him through a sprint, right? Like it may not work. And China is tricky, man. It's very tricky. It's fun, but it's tricky. It's not easy. So that's for me, the Racing Bulls this weekend. I think there's no value, in my opinion, on them.
Yeah, I think that's
There's
my
no
biggest
value.
thing with them. Like at 140,
there's none.
Just not willing to pay the price for that team.
Yeah, I'm not willing to do that. I'd put my money on Alonso over him. Just if Alonso wrecks again, I'll be like, oh, so be it. I at least trust him over a young guy. But yeah, the Aston Martin thing, I don't know what to expect with them. So, yeah, the one bet I did place for the race, which the number was too good. It's moved since. I'm still on that train of backing Russell over Hamilton for the race. I think that from everything I've seen and read, he's still got to learn a lot of different things within Ferrari. There's a lot of nuances. One thing that like triggered me was the actual steering wheel is completely different. He's still learning how to use the new steering wheel. And then we all saw his engineer get in his fucking face every time saying, use K1, bitch. If you say K1 one more time. The
memes have been amazing.
It's been great
so far,
the water one.
I love the one where Leclerc is like, hey, here, just now.
Yeah.
Must be the water.
Well, speaking of Leclerc, his odds have dropped drastically. I think there is some value if you are a Ferrari fan or anything, or have just enjoy pain. It might not be a bad idea to be sprinkling in his odds right now, like 16-1 for the race winner, sprint race. Let's just start there. Let's crawl before we walk, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just maybe, you never know. Maybe they get it. They have a car with the potential. Everything I read was they had to raise that the ride height from Friday to Saturday, which was causing some issues as well because they were afraid of the plank. And then just on top of that, Vassar seemed pretty confident. He's like, we know what's wrong and we can fix it. So usually that's a pretty good sign when it's like they understand the problem, they can fix it. So there's some value. So even a top three, I think, is at like plus 175. Maybe in some spots you might be able to see. It might be. I still think it could be McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull fighting for third. I still could see that as that top four. And then Williams, man, I'm starting to buy into them. I really am. They look pretty fucking strong. They've showed it throughout through the testing, through last weekend. I mean, all different elements, different tracks, from street circuit to traditional. I mean,
fastest speed, that might be a good one too.
They've been pretty solid. They've been pretty solid. So
what is the fastest speed odds? Let's look at that real quick
let's see it.
Oliver Bierman is the top one at 850, which would be plus 750. Liam Lawson, Ocon, Lance Stroll, Verstappen. Wow, where's the Albon is 11-1.
I'm the type that yeah, man. Alpine. I
know they had the fastest speeds in a couple of
Okay, so Haas is plus 350, Red Bull is plus 400, and Williams is plus 500.
All right.
I mean,
it's not bad. Again, early season. I don't want to go too crazy, even though I felt like I went crazy last weekend. But
you came out good though,
dude. I'm just
Good
waiting.
weekend.
I'm waiting for. I'm just like, okay. At some point, I'm going to be rolling a 7 and crap out. Like, it's going to happen. I'm just waiting for that. For some reason, can't go
Sprint
this long.
weekends is always that one,
right?
You just blame the sprint.
Yeah.
Stupid sprint sucks.
Definitely the
ruins
sprint.
everything.
Yeah, even on Pick'ems, which I'm going to kind of switch over to Pick'ems very quickly. We are using Grid Rival, our favorite. So yeah, Grid Rival, game-changing motorsports app, just designed specifically for motorsports. So if you play Underdog, you play Prize Pick, throw that away. Get Grid Rival. You can use our code APEX or use the link below for 100% deposit match. It is seriously a really good app. You can get in on IndyCar, NASCAR. It's what we use for our fantasy leagues. Seriously, get in, sign up. Really great app. So I do have some plays that I posted, and this is for sprint qualifying because they just started posting those, I think, yesterday. I won't do the others until I'm going to go session by session. Sprint quali. So I actually did Stroll worse with Bortoleto better. Not too sure about it. It was more like, hey, I'm going to try to maybe fade Aston Martin, but I've been reading reports. I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But you never know. Probably could work out. So I have 12.5 worse Stroll, 16.5 better for Gabe. And then I have Isaac Hajar, worse than 12.5 with Gabe, plus 1.5 to Duhan. And again, sprint qualifying. All of this is sprint qualifying. Again, I'm just fading Duhan. I think that, why does he deserve that much respect? And Gabe's actually looked pretty good. I kind of feel like Stake might have something there, at least for sprint qualifying. And then lastly, I think this one's my favorite one, is Gasly better than 11. I hate that it's right at 11, but actually Price Pick posted and Underdog, they have Gasly at 10.5, but I have better at 11, and I'm actually fading Kimi at 6.5 for sprint qualifying. I think it's going to be kind of tight in that range, especially if you're throwing in Williams in the mix. So that might be my favorite one. And then I did some ridiculous, just throwing some money at it just for fun. Alonso better 10.5, Lawson worse than 11.5, Yuki worse than 9.5, Gasly better than 11, and then Hajar worse than 12.5. So that should be fun. It'd be $10 paying $200 for that one just for shits and giggles. So we got a lot of plays. So get into Discord, get into our Pick'em channel, tag us. We're just constantly shopping the lines. I do have price picks as well. Just might as well throw that out there. I have Russell better than 5.5 and Yuki worse than 9.5. There's your boy, Yuki. Fading
Me and F1 bet tipster are drooling over here.
Oh man, I'm so gonna be probably. I'm just rolling that dice for the 7 right now. It sounds like
It's okay. We all have those weekends.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What about what else? Anything else you guys are? I know, like for me, it's more like I like to see session by session and see what's happening before I'm on a sprint weekend, especially what to do. But is there anything else that's caught your eyes?
Well, that's the one thing that Renegade's favorite weekend, sprint weekend. Like me, we both love it. We can't wait for it.
Every race.
I love street races. Cannot wait. Vegas, Las Vegas is one of my favorites too. We talked about this earlier. I just got one that I like, and we talked about this already. That we think that McLaren is going to be the fastest on the grid. Double podium on Caesars was minus 125. It was the best odds you could find. It's like minus 140 at most books, but on Caesars it was minus 125. Double podium for the McLaren. We already talked about it. Why? If you like it, grab it there before odds move. Because once the qualifying starts, those odds are gonna get shifted. So if you like it, go ahead.
You said for sprint race? I'm sorry, I missed that.
No, for the race.
For the race.
For the actual, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Couldn't pay me to bet Oscar at minus 140.
No, it's what I'm saying. Like, honestly, I'm impressed by his driving, but we'll see.
I'm kind of convincing myself to take Old Bort to reach Q2 at plus 135.
I mean, man,
Why
I've
not? I
actually
like
I've
that.
actually
Great
liked
quality, by the way.
yeah, I've actually
Where at?
liked the
What
guy.
book?
So I'm looking at Bovada right now. I haven't checked the others yet, but yeah, to reach Q2 plus 135, kind of think I've
Fuck, man.
about right
Man,
there.
I wish I had Bovada, man. I don't have it anymore.
Yeah,
Damn
me
it.
neither.
I mean, the good thing about Bovada is if they have it, then someone else does. 'Cause they just copy it from them.
Yeah, except Bet Online, I keep pounding my hands on the table, like, dude, give me some more like stuff that like Bovada has. Just copy them. I keep saying, just copy Bovada. Come on, everyone's doing it. You know,
There you go.
they
There's
won't do it.
365.
But
365 has them at plus 137, actually. Even better. Slightly.
man, I'm thinking about phoning a friend, wink, wink, on Gabriel Bortoleto for FP1 over Duhan plus 150. Come on.
It's
What am I
locked and
missing?
loaded. It's locked and loaded. So
Come on. What are we doing here? Why is it plus 150? Why is he minus 210? I feel like I'm just going to take it off that principle. No rookie like him should be getting minus
No,
210.
not at all. I agree.
Just off principle. And I won't be mad if I lose it. Yeah. All right.
well, you gotta lose some because the tax guy is gonna be calling me here soon and be like, "What the hell's going on, man?" I'm like,
No habla.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I gave you I gave you his contact, so
Yeah, you did. I need
No.
man,
Send that man a
funny.
dodge.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what else. There's so much. I'm just trying to tame myself. I will call out. I just saw just saw his play. He has Norris just across the board.
Across the board. Yeah.
Fucking sprint qualifying race. Oh
I was just
man.
gonna say, Renegade has I was
Does
gonna
he have
read
one
off
too?
his. He has Liam Lawson points finish. He posted 2 days ago, so I don't know if he
Okay.
has changed his mind, but
I
he
absolutely hate
has
it.
him. Yeah, it's the odds are
I was
plus,
gonna say,
the odds are like plus 152 at the point.
you've been in the Discord. You know how I feel about Liam Lawson now.
It might actually hit, but I don't want any of that mess.
No.
If
It's
I'm
just a
gonna,
continuation of Checo. Like
If I'm gonna-
everyone was so done betting Checo, and then now that we got the blonde hair version of him, we're just back on it. Like,
give me that plus 150 over Duhan, and we're good.
Yeah. No, it's no, but you're right. I see that Mr. Jans has a lot of Norris, so he's gonna be either wearing
man,
orange on
good.
Sunday early morning, or he's gonna
Dude,
be pissed.
he already ordered his McLaren gear head to toe. I am sure. I love it though. I will admit, I actually think he's going for it. He's sending it, and I love that because if you're gonna send it, he's just saying, I'm gonna quadruple down and I'm gonna do it on every session. And
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
I
and
mean,
he's got the Grand Slam.
we more often.
Oh, he has the Grand Slam. Oh, yeah, he does.
He's got the Grand Slam
Yeah.
too.
He's
yeah,
going
yeah.
for it, and
Yeah.
and it's tempting me because I said this last week too. I was like, oh, should it? But I still worry that Piastri actually finds it this weekend in one or two whatever sessions. Yeah.
Finds the runoff.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. There's so much more we could probably go through. I don't know what else to even. There's so much. I'm overwhelmed with what I would want to do.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, like again, there's so much unknown, and
Yeah.
this being a only one practice race weekend, kind of throws it off a little bit. So you don't know what to expect. So it's gonna be. I definitely want to see FP1.
Yeah.
Before I make any other
It's
bets.
very tight in that midfield range. It's even tighter than it was last year. So to me, I don't want any of that mess. I think I also, for any of the listeners, we have been getting free practice Grid Rival plays too. They haven't posted it yet. Probably we'll see it tomorrow. That makes it even much more enticing for you to get it. We hit on all of them for FP1. Everyone in the Discord were awesome. So we'll probably be hitting that again. So that's probably
hopefully they weren't too nice. Maybe that's why we haven't got them back yet.
I'm just.
I think
I'm
they'll
just
get it
looking
back. I think they'll get it back. They want to
I'm
win
looking
their
at
money back.
at the times right now, guys. We could probably. Pretty sure that most of us are going to be very active in the Discord. So if you're not in the Discord, please get in because practice one is at 11:30 Eastern here,
Is
and
it
the actual
11:30?
PM.
Oh shit!
Tomorrow night, yeah, and then we have the sprints actually on a Friday night, 11 o'clock. That's not bad at all. I think lots of people will be watching the actual sprint race.
Oh
So
shit!
I
I'm
think
good.
the Discord is gonna be really busy, and lots of places are gonna be flying around. I'm sure.
There is strong possibility I'm going to miss at least half, if not most, if not all, of FP now that I just realized it. I thought it was 11:30 my time.
I'm gonna miss probably the sprint race because of Michigan State basketball, March Madness, but we're playing late game, so
Yeah,
we'll see.
that's 10 o'clock Central for us. That's even better. I love that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I did
So
not know that. All right. Well, any last thoughts, I guess, before we close it out?
go Yuki.
Hopefully, it's cleaner than the last one.
Hopefully, man. I know you're going to get it. This is the weekend. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
See it.
All right.
See ya.
See you.